Welcome to another episode of the Genoese Golden Crusade. And my plan for this is to begin striking at the hafsids and moving into Tripoli. Because as you can see, we might be beaten to that currently by all these other factions. We are currently not that favoured by the Pope. Although that might change when we sorry for that. When we convince the Pope into being happier with us. Although that might not be possible. And just checking here. This garrison's a lot stronger than it should be. It definitely should not be this large. Even with these garrison buildings, I don't think it should be this large. Anyway. It'll probably take like 3 or 4 armies to move into that. So I'm going to put the idea off. Maybe when our king dies, it's all going to go back to normal. Who knows? Talking about that actually. Just looking at who is the most eligible for the title of ruler. And obviously it would be Corrado, but we got someone else here as well who'll be eligible. Not going to care about that right now. Going to try and find a wife for everyone else. Get Corrado and Gabriel positions in the court. And let's care not for that. As you can see, I've got this huge force preparing to go to war, and the interesting thing is it's comprised mainly of crusader units, which are going to pour into this army. And to change things up, I'm going to get a few of these Templars still, because well, I don't know, just think a good mix will matter. And when it comes to foot knights, as you can see, well, as you should see. Anyway, dismounted hospitality knights do have a weakness compared to the Templars, and that is that they don't have the disciplined trait, which makes the Templars a little bit more viable for recruitment, as you can see here. Dismounted hospitality knights of the early period. You can see that little trait there in the corner, which makes a lot of difference when your general dies or when they are surrounded, because then they will not flee like it's the first best time to run. Got that out of my mouth. Anyway, we're going to begin making some much needed upgrades to the cities and all that. Mamluk rebels preparing. The Kingdom of Portugal ask for a defensive alliance. We're going to ask for a wife, and that is mainly because you can do this. And this is very, very effective. I can also join a war against hafsids in return for them probably joining all of my wars. Well, maybe not all of them, but I could just throw out these two and, well, throw out the hafsids. Seems like they'll only go to war with one goddamn faction. For goodness sake. Anyway, we're going to accept that because for an alliance and selling our wife, basically, selling a marriage, we've just gained a load of good stuff. The commune of Milan. Why do I fail with all these pronunciations? They're English, for goodness sake. We're going to offer someone for marriage, get 10,000 gold off of them, and get them to fight the hafsids. Actually, not the hafsids, but the Ayyubids. And the Absids. And the Almohads. And the Pretenders. And the Sheriff of freaking Mecca. Alright, we can just get them to go to war with everyone we're at war with. Yippee! We just got a whole Catholic League at this point, haven't we? And I feel good. What I think is now occurring as well is this garrison's really weak. And if we can storm it, we're getting a city basically for free. Just some ancient actions over in Arabia. And military movements by the Pretenders. But other than that, currently there's nothing going on. The Principality of Achaia, or Achaia, is destroyed. There's an imminent rebellion at Menace. And we get a worthy bride, a noble marriage, and everyone getting their offices, no problemo. If you look at it, most of the places that I own right now are very clean. Which is nice to see, actually. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a hospital and build this to an ecclesiastical domain. I'm going to build a hospital here and go over to Italy. All of that stuff basically accumulating into one massive war. Here we might have run out of manpower, actually. Think that's correct, although we do have enough manpower to get a unit of knights. Might be a military cap. Causing all that, but whatever. Over here, we can do nothing. Let's just not make any upgrades for now. While we quickly look at the garrison, and it's damaged. Just as I thought. So I'm going to move this extremely early army in, and apparently they've still got very good chance to defeat us in battle. Obviously this will disappear completely when we crush them in actual combat, but whatever. Mednin, I think it is, has no garrison, and with Tripoli, it's an absolute mystery. Over here with Gabriele, we're going to do the Genoa special, where we just get a bunch of spearmen and a bunch of crossbowmen. Because, you know, that's exactly the Genoa special. The good thing with there being no mercenaries in this mod right now as well is because, well, the good thing about it is that the rebels cannot just spam out a bunch of mercenary troops, then disband them immediately after they take a city. Instead, then they can just sit there with their army and do nothing whilst I smash them open with a fully trained force. The hafsids doing literally nothing to stop me from taking the city of Surt. The Serbs get a military alliance in return for some money, and another offer of marriage if I can actually click onto it. We can offer a daughter in return for all the money, all the hafsids, the Elmhards and hafsids. They accept, and we are 5,000 gold richer. Which obviously for the Genoese and Venetians basically means they've got a bunch more money to swim in pools of gold. The Abbasids and the Ayyubids just keep trying to assassinate an assassin from Pisa. And once again, there's the choice of alliance with Navarre. And when it comes to that, well, they kind of need to pay up. Nearly clicked on that. I'm going to keep on asking for loads of cash. We're going to get 5,000 gold, sorry, 4,500, which puts our balance this turn at over 9,000 gold, which is pretty nice. We get the Circean Pretender stuff. A new pope has been elected, but all popes share the hate. We can get the advanced castle architecture, which is definitely going to be useful. And over here, apparently we've lost some of our advantage because I guess we've built a battering ram. I don't know. The game can be stupid in these types of situations. It really can. About my son Matruch, the army is just doing army stuff. And we've got all these priories and everything all over the place, but I'm not going to expand anything there right now. Instead, I'm going to be looking towards our military in Italy, because it's building up and it's looking very strong at this very point in time. And what we can also do in the future when we get the hospitals running, and here we can actually do right now, is change this metropolis, which if I just click on it, gives us a decent garrison and very high population. But who would like that when we can get a stronghold, which it gives us extra siege holdout time, gives us knights, dismounted knights, and all that other good stuff. Now though, I'm rethinking that, and I'm not going to do that. I don't see the point. Instead, what I'm going to do is build some extra buildings and stuff like that. Going to get, I apologize. I'm going to build a forge mill and just wait for this army to build up a bit. Meanwhile, the Spartans will just keep on sieging. I really don't know what occurred there with that balance bar. Maybe it thinks that, oh, they've got a defender's advantage. They're definitely going to have a better chance than we thought. Maybe something like that occurred. I don't know. At this point, I don't know anything. But I do have plans for Europe to and more accurately, expand our holdings in Europe. It's also seemed to be that Constantinople, that grand old capital of Orthodoxy, is being besieged. But we do not know by who. I do not know if they're going to want trade with us, because really, that's the only thing we care about. We really only want the money. The Kingdom of Navarre wants military alliance, but they're clearly not willing to pay. They reject, which I'm going to say at least is a bit stupid, because, well, they could have paid. They've also surrounded Alexandria. In some places rebellions are imminent. But we can now fight this battle. We're going to return to that in a second. And instead move over to the siege of Sturt, where we're going to run into the city and crush them. We got decisive victory, which is all nice and dandy. We're going to occupy the place. Ruin that. Ruin that. Keep that. I'm going to keep that. Ruin that down. And ruin that down. We're going to build a Presarium in here. And now destroy that there as well. Over in Europe, we cannot do anything at the moment. Over here is just an empty area with nothing in it, as you can see. Genoese's population of nobles and of burghers is absolutely large. Well, burghers, I have no idea. I am not going to hide it. I'm going to now go over to Ayako and pick up some of the units. Just for my own sake. I'm going to pick up all of this amount of knights. And I'm also going to get all of the Ritterbruder. Because, why not? And now, with this huge force, I'm going to begin moving right back to Genoa. With this huge force of Teutonic knights, Templar knights, a bunch of Italian troops, and all that, I'm going to keep moving over here. We are able to upgrade the whole army, which is suitable, let's be honest. Against weak spots and block and parry, which at this point makes these troops into basically knights just without the armor, which is very much unexpected. I think they even do more damage than the average knight now as well, so that's nice. And over in Alexandria, well, we're going to fight. We've got 2 units of knights, the range advantage because we've only got 3 units of ranged troops. Then we've got the cavalry advantage, but we've got loads of spearmen to counter that. We're going to go into the battle. And pray to God that there is no other rebellions in the area. The key to the victory here will be to get our reinforcements, which are going to be needed a lot. Over here we get some of the weaker troops moving in right now. Some of the better units moving in alongside the worse ones. And the plan is to have all of our crossbow troops line up on a grand old line, like so. Have our front line of spearmen strong in the center, but weaker on the flanks, and have the generals at the very back. Seems like they are somewhat marching towards us as well, so that gives us an advantage also. And my new plan with that will be to have a weakened center and move it up to about here, then have my weaker crossbow troops over at the back of at the front of the formation, sorry. And my generals just move up behind. The enemy force does not appear to be large, but it is. In addition to that, I think our force is slightly better. I'm not really sure though. I'm going to speed it up. For everyone's sakes, assuming anyone wants to look at my troops forming up, so might as well shorten it down for you. We're going to form shield walls. And now move back. I'm going to move our generals around to the back. These Nubian spearmen have a lesser statistics to us, other than armor, which they are heavily advantaged in. Meanwhile, Harafisha infantry, which the enemy has, is much worse. I'm going to send one general out to the flank, and out to deal with the ranged troops. Now that we've destroyed one unit, we're moving over to attack these Sudanese archers, which should break instantly at the sight of us. We're going to move our troops in there. Then have our other general move in there. And as you can see, they're kind of blowing up our cavalry at the moment, but that is no issue because I did just send them in to commit suicide. And that suicide is really working out for us. So now we're going to move the garrison commander around, line him up, and begin a frontal charge into the bomb throwers. And turn around, and just so happens that we've got them into melee. We're going to move these spearmen over because they seem to be extremely weakened at this point. Not sure if he's died yet. I'll pause very quickly to check. Nope, he is still alive. Some bloody hell. And the garrison commander is he's some bloody hell still alive. Yes, he is. Why is everyone still goddamn alive when they're like when their retinues are basically a bunch of dead people? And also we're going to begin firing into the back of their general. Charging from behind to see if it does anything. And yeah, I think the garrison commander is still alive. I'm going to keep on just blasting away. Our general's fallen. Sad days. But that's just how it works. We're going to keep on trying to kill their general. Moving our crossbows away to do so. Although they probably would be able to stop quite a few of the attacks. And I think we might lose this now. And it's purely because our generals just died. So as quickly as we took Alexandria, we might lose it. But we're going to try nonetheless. Seems like these swordsmen have just routed to a bunch of crossbows, so maybe not all is lost yet. Seems like it was mainly these knife throws which caused all the damage, which is a surprise. But now all our men flee. A valiant defeat has been taken, but luckily they have actually got less men than us right now, because a lot of our men fled, and many of their men did not. Sadly, the general is still alive because somehow he survived a massive volley of crossbow bolts flying headfirst at him. I really don't know how that happened. Although we sallied, we lost, and apparently the city's theirs now. Or it isn't, actually, but whatever. I do want to take Tripoli, but I can't do anything at this point. And I cannot move these armies because these armies are a lot... they're just too important to move away. They would be in quite a lot of trouble when they do. So I'm going to just go to Barker and get the first best person that is willing to sacrifice themselves to reinstate their army. The army that we lost already. And first we're just going to get a bunch of spearmen into the army because, you know, just how it works. We're going to get a bunch of random units because nice to have some random units, isn't it? And we're going to finish it off there. It is somewhat annoying that with all this warring with the hafsids, we have been unable so far to take advantage of all these territories that we have already. So I think I might stop going to war after this and enter a period of peace where we don't really do much and just sit around upgrading our territories to get the maximum financial potential out of them without them also rising up in rebellion trying to overthrow us. Which is exactly what these mamluk rebels could do. But they don't, because their brains cannot comprehend any of this. Meanwhile, we're still struggling to get some proper governance in place. Now who would have thought that? Anyway, so Ansaldo's going to get a few upgrades. And then he will either just sit around and do nothing, or he'll just take a few units off of them again. Which I personally think is a lot better of an idea. Just going to take a few of these crossbowmen, one unit of crossbowmen and one unit of hospitalers, and have them sail forth to Genoa, because Genoa is not in a good state at the moment. Although we could upgrade one building, and that'll be our stone quarry, which gives us 400 extra gold. Here though, that'll be a lot of juicy gold for us to get. Over here, we're able to break the siege of Alexandria and just rebuild our city as if nothing's occurred here. And now we wait. Don't know why they actually left. They got a bunch more naft throwers for some stupid reason, which I'm not explaining for them. I'm also going to attack Tripoli. Not caring for the lands I've taken already. That is a trend. And I hope that after the taking of Tripoli, the Republic of Pisa can be just a huge barricade between us and enemies. We also see the Kingdom of Connacht. At least that's how you say it, I think. And we're going to basically just steal a bunch of gold from them in return for a trade agreement which everyone seems to want. While the exact same thing occurs between us and the Bulgarians. And as you can see, military alliance is able to push it a little bit further. Military access, able to push it to the end. And now we're a whole 10,000 gold richer than we were before. What I thought was that someone might accept peace, but no one did. quite frankly, no one cares about the superpower that Genoa is, and so they just don't want to get peace. We could make some upgrades to all our cities, if we were willing, that is. And right now we could, or we might have been able to get something, building a piazza, because I'm guessing it's worth it. And now we sit and wait for a time to strike out with our armies. And over in Tripoli, still cannot attack. Not sure what it is with all these stupid, like, that building makes it more difficult to siege or something, even though you need it to siege. The area Corrado, who is I believe he's the governor of, what is it? Yeah, he's the governor of Genoa. Let me just quickly check it. And yes, in fact, he is. I just need to check what upgrades I gave him, and I'll be right back. Just checking, yeah. All that I wanted. And now we once more sit and wait. And over here, an army of the Republic of Pisa is suddenly sent running from two armies of the Almohads. Sorry, not the Almohads. As you can see, there's an offer of alliance made, which we're not going to take down. Obviously, we're very much willing to accept it in return for some more money. And going to get the defensive alliance. In return, they'll need to pay a measly 2,500 of their treasury over. They accept, and now I've got all of France under my own command. The huge Almohad force was just defeated by an even larger army of Pisa. Duchy of Lorraine is willing to give us some alliances, and they do decide to pay up after a few negotiations, lowering the price. Over to the east, I hope Alexandria is not attacked by anyone, because obviously its garrison is absolutely trash. The army of Jerusalem suddenly appears and decides to attack. I am not sure what just happened there. And I think a priest of the Kingdom of Jerusalem just got replaced. Or converted, sorry. The different nations have been destroyed. The Duchy of Lesser Poland, so the country my country is dead, for goodness sake. I might need to mention them later, but not now. I just don't feel like it. We're going to move our forces now over in Tripoli. We can now enter the city. They've got their sultan there, but we're going to wait one more turn while we get this absolutely garbage army up and running. And now, in fact, I'm able to get a few more soldiers, this time hospitalers. So not Templar Knights in any way, but still something, I guess. Anyway, we're going to begin well, the upgrades that we need. Cert has not been converted actually, so that's my fault. We're going to destroy that. We're going to get this piazza going. So his average, meaning a wheat farm's going to get us the most food, and if not the most money. And for now, we just have to deal with that being away. Castile wants military access, and we can't really bid for more, so we're just going to keep to our current offer. We're going to accept the 2,000 gold that we get in return, and that is with joy. Milan finally sends an army down here. For goodness sake. Surt's been recaptured, sadly. The Electorate of Trier asks for alliance between our two factions. And he was very unwilling to pay up, sadly, so I had to only accept 2,000 from him for military access and an alliance. So, don't know what these military access stock prices are, but they sure as hell are going down quickly. Another character has just been siphoned to the Catholic, from the Catholic faith to the Muslim faith. I seriously do not know what's going on there. The Welsh ask for an alliance, and they really want that alliance for no less than 1,000, no more than 1,000. Sorry, which I don't see why, because they're pretty rich over there, but alliance prices they might have just went up, which is a good thing. About Mesa Matruch, we're going to get stomped, apparently, so yeah, we've just lost the city to the Mamluks. I wasn't even willing to fight that. A new pope's been elected. Embark at siege. We can get a new son. And our African colony might have just went to shreds. The Spartans will just have to go and take the city of Tripoli, occupy it, and begin making some changes. Don't know why, but the game just froze suddenly here, so we need to wait it out. What I knew was that we're not in a good spot right now. I will want to take Surft back and get some new armies, hopefully. And sadly, we're still having issues when it comes to Imperium, so we cannot send armies down here. Well, if we want our European territories to rebel, then we can. All days of the year. But now, France is sadly not at war with anyone. They are actually kind of beloved by a load of people. So it is very annoying. And it also means that there is no easy prey for us in Europe anymore. And so I'm going to have to break that rule of sitting in Europe to keep the peace. And sending the defenders of Italia under Ansaldo down to the docks at Barca. I'm actually going to force them into the harbour. We don't 3 turns. And just auto-resolve this. And get a decisive victory, actually. Some bloody hell. I'm going to take on the warriors. And stop it. The mamluks have now emerged. And they would actually accept peace. And for now, anyway, I'm going to accept a peace like that. Making the mamluks as a nation a state of peace. Although that will not be around for long. Anyway, I would like to take Surt back. And I think I might just do that in this video at the end. But whatever. We've got this very elite force. As you can see, this is very, very well trained. And it actually does make a huge difference when you add it up with all the other things such as other things such as don't remember what such as army traditions and general skills. So for example, this unit of Lancieri Comunali would normally be an average to maybe even slightly above average unit for the early game. But here, with all these extra tiers of training and experience, as well as better weapons and armor, all of a sudden they've got 53 morale, making them basically unbreakable in this mod, because everything routes so goddamn easily. 68 melee defense, making them basically unkillable. 35 melee attack, meaning they're not that bad at killing people, and 27 melee damage. Gets even better with these Spadaccini Guelfo or Guelph swordsmen, because well, I think they're swordsmen anyway, might be axemen, not sure. But they've got 45 melee attack with 37 melee damage, meaning they're actually better than a Hospitaller or Templar Knight in melee combat, which isn't expected from a unit which is meant to be a slightly better version of the average sword unit for Italian states. Anyway, they've also got 63 morale, even better than the 53 highly advertised there. And as you can see, 63 to their 53. So these troops are nearly unbreakable. They're literally unbreakable for this mod in this very situation. Meanwhile, these crossbowmen, they've got 29 rate of fire, not really that shocking, but their melee stats are just as through the roof, meaning you could send these crossbowmen at this rank into melee, and they would be able to beat some units. Then we get to the cavalry, which is, once again, basically unkillable. I'm not going to go on ramblings over and over again, because I don't think it's worth doing so. Oh, and turn here. Think my Italian army will be here soon. with all their Ritterbruder and such, so we can begin rolling over the enemy forces like it's nothing. But we'll just have to see how that goes. Sooner or later. The Venetians are just sending a spy around in the ocean. A priest, sorry. The Bolognians and the Milanese have seemed to just construct a council for themselves. And the Iabids are relishing at least in one thing. And that's they have got loads and loads of Christians converted to Islam, which is all nice and dandy. And the Bolognians seem to have been annoyed by something that Milan said or something. I'm not sure. I'm going to end the mamluks in this area and have them done with. We get a bunch of people dying and such. The Hafsid force has went away. And we can actually just naval attack and have that battle over and done with. Basically. With no problems. We're going to keep everything here how it is. And then here we're going to destroy the town barracks. A blacksmith, which has now caused us to lag out again. Hopefully this stops freezing sooner or later. But now that we've captured Surt, will the Hafsids be able to bounce back? And will we get any terrible rebellions? Will our armies actually be able to get here and do something? Will we be able to gain superiority in this land? And will we be able to deal with the goddamn mamluks? Well, you will be seeing that in the next episode.